Oh, hope you guys having a wonderful Thursday. This is my second time trying to get this video out, guys, so my voice sound kind of hoarse, and I did a lot of material. I had to kind of exit out to another video because the other video was more detailed, but I'm coming back and do it again and just go through all the mission. I'm going through all the material for the day that I think is important. But some of the other stuff I have to come back and share at another time. So I'm going to go to some headline news from Israel. We're going to be covering some things coming on from other watchmen. I do have an important message today from Bette Stevens. Okay, she have a message that she put out yesterday I'm going to be reading. Also, we're going to go over to the last great crisis from Charles Wheelan back in 1988, because you know all the things are going on with Iran right now in the news. It's just apparently he talked about this stuff way many years ago, and it's happening right now. He said we were going to be in a war with Iran. America, we are going to be the ones that start this major war with Iran. So I'm going to go ahead and let this brother, after the Israel news, this brother would talk a little bit about it, this watchman. I think he do all kind of survival stuff. I can't remember his name now. And also we're going to get into the stock market a little bit. Other things going on a little bit. But this should be a shorter video in a sense, but I will be coming back doing some other mission stories and things like that with Randall J. Brewer at another time. So I'm going to go ahead now and start a song that I like so much. Fits right in with what's going on all the time, miYah. And if you have a trouble trying to watch my videos, please be aware that you can go over to Rumble, okay, Rumble, and look for Marner Benjamin. And also you can go over to I thought I had the link up here, maybe I don't have it up here. What's the other? Oh yeah, BitChute, okay. So you can go to either one of these channels here and watch the videos if they don't come out on YouTube, okay. I'll back up, okay. So let me go ahead now and get into my fair use notice. Did I go through that already? I don't remember. Let me go through it again. I don't remember going through it. So let me go through my fair use notice and get into a song from miYah, the one about Babylon, Mystery Babylon, which I love so much, Mystery Babylon. So today we're not going to cover much. Just going to try to go through some real important news right now. And then also I'm going to get into Maranatha in the end, talking about the peace and safety cry. And I may go over Psalms 121 today, because Psalms 121 is one of the Psalms I say a lot at night. I sing it at night. So we'll probably go over Psalm 121 and come back and do some other things from Acts chapter 25 that I was trying to do today. So let me go ahead now and get on over to the song I want to play here, Mystery Babylon, and get into some news. I am going to play a little bit of Charles Wheelan though. I want you guys to be enticed to go watch it. So I'm going to play some of his, a little bit of his video to show you guys what I mean. Because we are in the end at the end. In the end at the end. Actually, I got that phrase from Charles Wheelan. You know, he used to always say we're in the end at the end. So let me go ahead and do this right now and play this song. Let me mute it out.
Come out from among her, my people. Shimmy, judgment is coming upon the land. In 1 hour she will not stand. The Father wonders in his word. Prepare for famine, fire, and the sword. They shall weep from afar as the merchants realize none enough to buy their merchandise. Power is given to the beast to bring torture, death, and disease. It's time to fall upon your face and pray. Turn from your wicked and worldly ways. Come out from among her, my people, before it's too late. Come out from her, my people, lest you share in her fate. In her heart she says, I am queen. But in heaven, that's not how she's seen. The bridegroom's coming for his bride. He's looking for those who are purified, washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a remnant who shall stand, and they will have the law and the testimony. For if they speak not according to the law and the testimony, there is no truth in them. And they sing the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb. Shimmy-la-la, shimmy-la-la.
Guys, the devil just attacking, I'm telling you, all day long. Not going to stop me, okay? So I'm going to go on over here and find this news, Israel news. It was up here. I don't know what happened to it. We've been having some problems with this stuff today. I don't know what's going on with it, but let me go ahead and get that pulled up. And actually yesterday news, this was the yesterday video from yesterday, and this is the one for today, but today's one is talking on Iran, so I'm gonna go ahead and play it because a lot going on, okay?
TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donation.
Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcast to you from Jerusalem, and in today's top stories. Foreign Minister Yair Lapid vaguely acknowledges Israel's warming of ties with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The United States highlights its efforts to broaden regional cooperation in the Middle East to confront the Islamic Republic of Iran. The European Union pledges support for Egypt to tackle growing concerns over food security. Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid held a press briefing yesterday in which he summed up his first year in office. The roughly hour-long presentation provided a comprehensive overview of Israel's evolving state of play within the context of foreign relations, during which Jerusalem's top diplomat seized the opportunity to highlight U.S. President Joe Biden's visit to Israel and the region in mid-July, which aims to include an expected warming of overt relations between Israel and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
People understand that everybody's looking at Saudi Arabia these days for several reasons. And the fact that the president is going to fly directly from here to Saudi Arabia is probably signifying that there is a linkage between the visit and the ability to improve relations in the entire region.
Minister Lapid further expressed Jerusalem's aspirations to devise a formal peace agreement with Riyadh as part of a policy aimed to broaden the Abraham Accords, which aims to include also other Arab and Muslim-majority nations worldwide.
אנחנו עובדים על הרחבה של הסכמי אברהם. אני מעולם לא הסתרתי שיש סדרה של מדינות יעד, סעודיה היא הראשונה שבהם, גם אינדונזיה, גם מדינות אחרות, זה כולן מדינות שישראל מעוניינת שיהיה לה הסכמי שלום איתן.
Foreign Minister Lapid further highlighted the historic Negev summit, which brought 6 foreign ministers to Israel for the purpose of deepening cooperation on common challenges and opportunities.
אני לא חושב שהיה אי פעם משהו כמו פסגת הנגב. יושבים 6 שרי חוץ, מצרי, אמירתי, בחרייני, מרוקאי, ישראלי ואמריקאי, ומנהלים דיון אינטימי, לעתים בלי עוזרים ובלי יועצים, מקימים קבוצות עבודה בשורה של נושאים שמשמעותיים לנו, ובעיקר מקדמים את מה שאנחנו מכנים הארכיטקטורה האזורית לשימור הביטחון. This is what we call the regional architecture. We are trying to put Iran under siege, both security-wise and policy-wise, because Iran is a threat to the region, to the entire region, not only to Israel.
Minister Lapid explained that as part of the so-called regional architecture, Israel is working to isolate its arch-enemy, namely the Islamic Republic of Iran, on the global stage.
אנחנו ממשיכים עם מדיניות הקיטור, אנחנו רוצים לבודד את איראן בזירה הבינלאומית. יש לנו כלים גם מולטילטרליים וגם מולטילטרליים וגם עם האמריקאים. בסוף, עם חילוקי הדעות, אין לנו שותף אמיתי יותר מהאמריקאים.
While the United States is repeatedly labeled as Israel's truest and most reliable partner, Jerusalem's top diplomat revealed that London, rather than Washington, has helped Jerusalem present its arguments to the relevant parties within the context of Iranian breaches vis-à-vis its nuclear commitments under the JCPOA and NPT respectively, and highlighted also that progress is being made to convince those same relevant parties on triggering the snapback mechanism, which will reimpose a long list of crippling sanctions globally on the Islamic Republic's economy.
snapback זה אומר, כל הסנקציות, כולל אלה העתידיות, צריכות להיות מופעלות. זו עמדה שהוצגה לכל המדינות המעורבות בעניין. זה הבריטים היו שותף, לא יודע אם דרמטי, אבל אינטנסיבי איתנו בהצגה של זה. וזה השלב הבא במאבק הבינלאומי, או בצד המדיני של המאבק בגרעין האיראני. שכן השלבים הקודמים נכשלו, והחלטת סבא אומרת שהם נכשלו. האיראנים ממשיכים לרמות, לשקר ולנסות להגיע לגרעין בדלת אחורית ובאופן חשאי, והגיע הזמן לעצור את זה, ולעצור את זה, זה בעיה לא של ישראל, זה בעיה של העולם כולו.
It is important to interject by highlighting that while the majority of nations in the IAEA Board of Governors have evidently adopted the Israeli position, China and Russia have voted against the resolution censoring Iran, while India, alongside Pakistan and Libya, abstained. Nevertheless, despite the censor, the United States continues to seek a revival of the 2015 nuclear agreement.
We will continue to pursue a mutual return to compliance with the JCPOA for as long as doing so is in our national interest. And right now, a mutual return to the JCPOA would convey non-proliferation benefits that we don't have at the present moment. Again, the fact is that Iran's breakout time is dangerously low.
Price highlighted, however, that the United States remains committed to Israel's security and is resolved to deepen regional cooperation to confront threats which Iran persistently poses.
Our commitment to Israel's security is ironclad, and we, in cooperation with our allies and regional partners, including Israel, we will use every appropriate tool at our disposal to confront the IRGC's stabilizing influence in the region. You've seen evidence of that with the financial sanctions that we've imposed. We continue to coordinate closely with our Israeli partners on this, with our Gulf partners, with other partners throughout the Middle East. And I have no doubt that the challenge that Iran poses to the region and beyond will be high on the agenda when President Biden is in Israel next month and when he is in Saudi Arabia next month, meeting with the GCC and meeting with his Saudi partners as well.
Returning to Jerusalem, where Foreign Minister Lapid also addressed the unique relationship with Israel's immediate Arab neighbors, including, most notably, with Egypt.
אבל החזרנו משהו מהאינטימיות בשיחות עם מצרים וירדן. מול ירדן זה נפגם קצת סביב אירועי הרמדאן, אבל בסך הכל היחסים עם מצרים הולכים ומתחזקים, כולל אנחנו משנים עכשיו, מרחיבים את הכיס, הכיס זה האפשרות שלנו לייצור משותף, מנהלים איתם שיחות של גז ואנרגיה שלא היו בעבר, וכמובן שיתוף הביטחוני, יש פעולה ביטחוני הדוק מאי פעם.
Lapid also highlighted the latest developments, which included the signing of a memorandum of understanding by the EU, Egypt, and Israel yesterday, rooted in Europe's aspiration to seek alternatives to Russian energy.
ההבנה שאנחנו יכולים לעזור לאירופה למצוא, אנחנו יכולים להיות חלק מהמערך שמייצר לאירופה אלטרנטיבה לגז הרוסי.
It is important to know that the European Commission's aspirations within context of the signed MOU aims to increase an estimated 5 billion cubic meters or BCM of natural gas to 7 BCM by year's end and to double the latter figure as early as next year. Following yesterday's signing ceremony of the trilateral MOU, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen met with Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, during which the EU pledged to assist Cairo to tackle a disastrous food shortage which threatens the security and stability of Egypt.
Ukraine, that used to be the granary of the world before the war, now is in a very difficult situation, and we have to do everything that the supply of grain that is trapped in Ukraine because of the Russian war, that the supply of grain is being exported to the world so that Russia is no more blockading the export of Ukrainian grain via the Black Sea. At the moment, being 20 million tons of grains are stuck, are trapped in Ukraine, and we've seen that food prices have been skyrocketing in many countries. 80% of your wheat imports are coming from Russia and Ukraine, so this is a concern about food security and food prices that is real. We will provide an immediate relief of 100 million euros to Egypt for the immediate situation now of food security. This will hopefully help to increase the grain storage capacity and will provide finance for rural businesses and farmers, but that's only for the short term. And the two of us have intensively discussed that in the mid and long term, we will also have to completely renew and boost the local food production. And therefore, the European Union is very interested in investing in the local food production. We will devote 3 billion euros to agriculture and nutrition, water and sanitation programs over the next years here in the region. These investments will support food systems in your region and elsewhere so that we can together discuss how to develop solutions and technologies that are fit for purpose here in Egypt.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Tomorrow evening, TV7 Israel will broadcast Powers in Play with Amir Oren. Separately, it is important for us to continue to underscore that TV7 Israel is a donation-based ministry. Therefore, if you're blessed by our productions, please consider making a financial contribution that in turn will enable us to sustain our ongoing operations here in Jerusalem. Additionally, I would like to encourage you, pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide and for the peace of Jerusalem and the salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hassan wishing you a Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach, and we will see you again on Monday at the same time.
All right, everybody, the events that are happening right now are going to shape the next couple of weeks. The Kremlin has said that the situation between the United States of America and Russia is at a pivotal point. They say it's a very dangerous point of confrontation. Russia is warning the United States that it has already crossed a red line by sending long-range weapons to the Russian opposition in Europe. And the continuation, they say, of this practice will have dire consequences for all of America. We're starting to see a grouping of South American countries backing Russia and moving away from United States allegiances. And with that grouping, you might see Russia begin to arm them in ways that the USA is not prepared to handle. Speaking at an event on Tuesday, Israel is calling on the USA to lead a charge of aggressive military action against Iran. They are warning that Israel will not hesitate to activate its power anywhere in the world to protect its citizens. This is suspected to be a report after Israel rescued citizens from an Iranian attempt to abduct or kidnap or even kill Israeli citizens in the country of Turkey. Israel's security arm is doing everything it can to thwart such attacks and to preemptively neutralize those dispatching the terrorists and the dispatchers as well. The leader to Israel is quoted as saying. In the face of this nearing of a nuclear conflict, the official transcript notes that Israel is calling on America not just for cooperation, but to create a regional force with American leadership that will strengthen all parties involved. Now, Biden, of course, not the strongest of ever military leaders that are in the presidential position. He is going to talk with Saudi Arabia right now and with Israel and a couple of other countries. And we can hope that there are strong military leaders going with them to sort of direct the forward motion of the U.S. military in the next couple of months. Now, I say we can hope because if it's done wrong, it's going to affect you and I here at our homeland. If it's done right, we might have continued stability even through the corruption that comes about with military confrontation outside of America's borders. The leader to France is saying that they did everything they could to avoid a war in the Russian conflict. And military strategists are saying that what was done was not enough. This conflict is expected to last 6 months, 8 months, 2 years even, and it's going to be lasting that long because you're going to see NATO, Europe, the United States of America, other countries come into the fold in this theater. The U.S. Energy Department has announced a contract to award and issue emergency sales of U.S. crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the very same reserve that is at its lowest levels since 1987. We're being stripped of everything that we have held on to. Basically, America's bank account is being robbed. We're giving away our weapons to the Russian opposition with no way of making new weapons in enough time. We're giving away money that should be going to American infrastructure, or even better yet, reducing the taxes and the corruption that is being placed by inflationary measures onto the American people. Rather than giving $5 billion, $10 billion to the Ukrainians, why aren't they giving that to the American people who all day long up and down on news outlets, they'll say, Biden acknowledges, the White House acknowledges, the Federal Reserve says, and they'll say all day long that the American people are suffering under the economic crisis that is striking the country. But do they do anything about it? No. Do they help you in any way? No. They point all of their money to ways that they can in turn just put it through a shell game and put it right back into their pockets. Guess what? If you don't believe that they have already corporate structures set up by politicians from America in Ukraine, you are absolutely being misled. The same exact thing happened in Iraq. The same things happened in Libya. It happens all over. The United States of America and all the politicians move in there. They set up corporations under defense measures or logistics or administration purposes. And then these defensive, logistical, or administrative corporations are the ones that get these billions of dollars. And it funnels right back into the pocketbooks of American politicians. This is a game of us versus them. The American people are just starting to wake up, and we're starting to see reports that people aren't even driving anymore if it's not going to make them money or buy them food. They're not even getting into their car because gas prices, these oil corporations, the refineries have seen 225% profit. What have you seen? Any relief? Absolutely not. Crude might be down, but does that matter to them? No. You're going to keep seeing prices increase. And there's this very vague threat of administrative responsibilities and that the U.S. could put in defense production acts and artificially lower prices. But that's just more of the same shell game. It's more of the admission that the White House is laser focused on your hurt and your pain. But do they do anything about it? Absolutely not. Will they do anything about it? No. The only time you're going to see real change affected here in the United States of America is under constant, catastrophic strife. We're just at the beginning, the birthing pains, so to say, of this crisis, this economic crisis.
And in this nation so quickly, so rapidly now, that I find it very difficult to keep up. And believe me, I have agents working around the world who send me clippings, who call me by phone, who do whatever to keep me informed of what's taking place. And the things that are happening so quickly now are happening so quickly now that I find it very difficult to keep abreast.
Carl?
Yes.
Many of us are too. Is Loma Linda a large city?
Is Loma Linda a large city? Loma Linda is part of a large city. Okay? A large city is where you have a lot of people confined in a narrow bit of land. A large city is where you have people on top of people, on top of people, on top of people. In early years in our seminars, people used to ask, well, what's a large city? And I don't try to, define that for people. I did notice in one of the news magazines today, flying here, that Los Angeles is the second largest city in the United States. Just can't escape that. I don't try to define that. The other question is usually, well, Brother Wheeling, how far is out? And I don't think I'm equipped to answer those kinds of questions. I think God and His Holy Spirit are the ones who guide people and who lead them. And what I really want to say to our people is get on your knees, get your families on their knees with you, and present your case to God. And if God says stay right here, then you stay here. But if God says move, then brother, sister, move. Just make sure you don't make either of those decisions without asking first, because God alone is able to give the direction. I'm in volume 9 of Testimonies, page 96 and 97. I want to share a terse statement with you and ask you what it means to you. God cannot forbear, she wrote, much longer. Already his judgments are beginning to fall on some places. Soon his signal displeasure will be felt in other places. That's the word we've been choosing here, signal. And she's using it once more. Soon, she said, his, capital H, his signal displeasure will be felt and seen. I want to put this, the marvelous working of Satan here for those who are taking notes and for the benefit of the video camera. Signal displeasure. Listen to the next sentence. There will be a series of events revealing that God is master of the situation. So my question would be, what situation? What series of events? And what is meant by the expression signal displeasure? Why don't we zero in on the series of events? She said, there will soon be a series of events. What series of events do you think she is referring to there? And in a moment I'll clarify for you from the book what series, but I want to know what you understand on that point. Anyone? Don't be afraid to answer. Shaking in the church? I think that's part of it. War? Miracles of Satan? Earthquake. Spiritualism, famines. Okay, I think you're on track. Just across the page, page 97, let me continue. More and more as the days go by, it's becoming apparent that God's judgments are in the world. In fire and flood and earthquake, he is warning the inhabitants of this earth of his near approach. Fire, flood, earthquake. The time is nearing when the great crisis in the history of the world will have come, when every movement in the government of God will be watched with intense interest and inexpressible apprehension. In quick succession, the judgments of God will follow one another, and I cannot help but believe this is the series of events that she's referring to here. Fire, flood, and earthquake with war and bloodshed. You'll find this same series of events repeated several times through her writings. It's interesting to me that she has used this expression repeatedly, fire, flood, earthquake with war and bloodshed, but she's using it in the same way that Jesus answered the disciples when they said, tell us, what are the signs of your coming in the end of the world? He spoke of war and famine and pestilence and earthquake. These are signs that Jesus gave. And Ellen White, using her words, has given the same outline, the same catalog of events here, a series of events that will reveal God is master of the situation. Now, it's this series of events that I believe are clearly outlined, that is foretold in the prophecies. My question, of what value is a prophecy if you have to wait until it's fulfilled before you recognize what it means? If the angels came visiting in Sodom and said to Lot and his family, tomorrow morning the fire will fall, Does it make any sense to you that they should stay there and wait until the fire begins to fall before they make their exit? Does that make any sense to you? I mean, the whole purpose of the prophecy of the angels was so that you can make your escape. You don't wait until the thing prophesied or predicted takes place and then you make your move. That's not the purpose of prophecy. Prophecy is given so that God's people can know before it happens. And by the way, that's what Jesus says in John chapter 14, verse 29. I tell you before it comes to pass, you see. It makes absolutely no sense for God's people to have the prophecies, to have the admonition in these books and the things clearly revealed in the Scriptures, and then sit and twiddle their thumbs and say, well, when I see this, and when I see this, and when I see this, then I'll know, or then I'll move, or then I'll act. That's unreasonable. I want to suggest to you that it's deadly. It may cost some their physical lives, perhaps not their spiritual lives, but it may cost some their physical lives. It may cause some undue grief and guilt who could have taken what little wealth or great wealth God has entrusted to them and could have used it before this time comes. It's been quite a revelation to me to travel for the last several years and meet so many thousands of my brothers and sisters. It's interesting to see how many different thoughts and minds there are. I meet Seventh-day Adventists who will come to a series like this and they ask to speak to me privately and they say, now, Brother Wheeling, can you tell me where I should put my money so when this time comes I won't lose it all? You'd be surprised how many people have asked me that. And I cough and I sputter and I wheeze a bit and I say, brother, first of all, I'm not equipped to tell you what to do. God is. But I do want to say this. If you think that you're going to be a Seventh-day Adventist, true, blue Seventh-day Adventist, and come to this time and come through with some money to spend on the other side, you better think again. You don't understand. I've had Seventh-day Adventists and more than a few of them say, Brother Wheeling, you know, you say you don't believe in buying gold and silver, and maybe you don't, but I think it would be a good idea to have some gold and silver when this time comes, when you can't buy and sell. You can sure barter. And I say, hold on. What are you going to barter for? Well, food. And I say, let me ask you something. You've got gold, the neighbor has bread. How much gold will you give him for the bread? Do you think the neighbor's going to be fair? In the first place, the neighbor took the mark. That's the only reason he has bread. In the second place, if he's that kind of fellow, he knows he has only to wait another week and you'll give all the gold you have for a loaf of bread. Brother, sister, you haven't thought things through. You haven't thought things through. Did you really believe that God's people are going to come to this time and just breeze right through to the kingdom? It's not going to work that way. Ellen White said it like this. She said, trouble is often greater in anticipation than in reality. Not so of the events before us. She says, tongue and pen are not adequate to describe what is soon to break upon this world as an overwhelming surprise. And what I fear most is that it's going to burst upon God's people. And they are unready to meet the crisis.
Okay, guys, I just had to play that. It's really wonderful. A lot of material in that video from 1988, and we're dealing with all these things right now. Before I get into this, I'm gonna just go ahead and do the. I think it's from the brother here about the Dow. Okay, the Dow crash. I'm gonna go ahead and let him talk a few minutes, and then I'm gonna get into not Ellen White, God, Ellen White. I'm gonna get into Betty Stevens' words, okay, that she put out yesterday, and then I'm gonna show a few more clippings, and then get into the Bible, Psalm 121, and it's gonna end this video because I don't want it to. I'm just testing out. I hope my material here is working okay. So let me go ahead and do that now. Get into his video, and then I'll let you guys know. Yeah, we are in the end at the end because the Dow and everything's acting up. We got a lot of things going on. Iran, as Charles said in a lot of his videos. I have another one I want to put in the link in the description box too, where he talk about Iran. Okay, Iran is next. I think it's Iran is next. So all these things are coming to pass that God's watchmen and different people have been talking about for many years. So I hope you guys are really reading your Bible as well, okay? Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, and all these chapters that Yeshua have given us. So let me go ahead and mute out again.
Hello, everybody. This is Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. This is June the 16th, 2022. I want to welcome everyone to our chat this morning. It's about 7:30 here in Arizona. Sorry we haven't done a live broadcast the last 2 days. I've been in bed, still not feeling very good. So hopefully we'll be able to do a broadcast later today. If not, this will be the only broadcast. So please continue to pray for me. I don't know what this is. I just have zero energy. It's kind of hard getting out of bed. But anyway, we're going to try to do a short broadcast this morning to let you know what's going on a little bit in the stock market. What you're looking at right now is the brand new breaking news this morning. Dow Jones falls 700 points, tumbling below 30,000. For the lowest level in more than a year. So the stock market crash is continuing. The perfect storm is continuing around the world, and I do believe this is going to get a lot worse. First time the Dow Jones has went under 30,000. So let's read a little bit about this. The Dow Jones Industrial Average tumbled below the key 30,000 level on Thursday, as investors worried the Federal Reserve's more aggressive approach toward inflation would bring the economy into a recession. The Dow had rallied on Wednesday after the Fed announced its largest rate hike since 1994, but reversed those gains and then some on Thursday, tumbling to the lowest level since January 2021. The Dow dropped 2.3% or 710 points. The S&P slipped S&P 500 slipped to 3%, while the NASDAQ composite slid 3.6. The major averages entered Thursday's session down to 4.5 to 5.7 to 5.6. So this is very significant, folks. This is a key marker, 30,000. So the Dow Jones has lost about 6,000 points in the last 4 months, starting about 4 or 5 months ago. So I do believe this will continue. Inflation is out of control, and there's no way for them to get it under control. The S&P and the NASDAQ composite are both in bear market territory, down roughly 23% and 33% from their all-time highs in January and November, respectively. The Dow, meanwhile, is about 19% below its January 5th all-time intraday high. So this is what we're looking at. It doesn't look very good. Right now, the Dow's up just a little bit. It's only down 626 points, but that could change. It is early. Like I said, it's only 7:30 here West Coast time. So who knows where it's going to go? But you know, this is just a harbinger of things to come. I do believe that before it's over, I mean, you might see a Dow down another 10,000 points. Who knows, folks? So let's check the crypto market this morning. The crypto market is down. Bitcoin is down to 21,122. Ethereum is down to 1111, so 1,111. XRP is at 31 cents. So this is the breaking news. We have more news out there. Situation in Ukraine is not getting very good for the Ukrainians. Russia has taken more territory. We're going to try to cover all that news later today, hopefully.
My name is Louis. Today is June 16, 2022, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News channel. Before I start, guys, give this video a big thumbs up and share this video. We got some breaking news updates, and guys, we have some big info, very important information coming out. The Bear largest natural gas field was hit. It was impacted. They are investigating right now, and we don't know who did it, but I'll tell you what, guys. Mr. Burns yesterday announced and signed a $1 billion deal. On top of that $1 billion, $200 million would go with it. So altogether, it's like $1.2 billion worth of stuff that could do this type of damage. All right, so the Bear knows that it's the sleeping giants sending all these type of stuff to that country, the yellow and blue country, Ukraine. All right, so this did not happen inside the Bear territory. If this took place inside the Bear territory, well, DEFCON will be on 1. Number 2, the Bear is going to be launching their Satan 2 or hypersonic stuff to one of the NATO members or the sleeping giant land. But here's the thing. Mr. Burns doesn't have the guts to launch inside the Bear territory. He doesn't. He won't do it. So we're going to see what's going on here. Let me just go down here. Let me just read this really quick. All right. I believe that this is a message that was sent, and the Bear will respond once the investigation is over and stuff like that. So a massive event tore through a 1400 mm natural gas pipeline at the Bear's largest natural gas field in that location in Siberia today. The fire is presently burning out of control. So we're gonna go to all this, guys. Let me just show you the picture one more time. Now remember, NATO countries, we're talking about Europe here, they have no oil. They have no gas. They don't want to pay. So the Bear turned off the pipelines. You don't pay your bill, off. You don't pay your lights bill, what happens? Lights turns off. You don't pay your car insurance, what happened? You have no insurance in your vehicle. You don't pay the payments for your vehicle, what happens? They're gonna tow your car and take it back to the dealership. If you don't pay your bills, off, disconnected. So that's what's going on with these NATO countries. They don't have oil and stuff like that. So what do? They try to strike the Bear pipelines and stuff like that. It goes to tell you guys that these Looney Tunes don't know how to mind their own business. They want to get involved in a country that's not even their allies and stuff like that. But at the very end, guys, the Bear has warned that anybody that intervene in this op will see something huge. All right, guys, before I start, give this.
TV7. I've been reporting on all these plants that have gone up in flames or exploded, affecting the food processing and distribution in our country here within the past year and a half. When you add in also that there's a super drought and that farmers are not getting crops into the ground, this isn't good. Now, another reason that they're not getting crops into the ground is because of higher gas prices. And just looking at a state like Pennsylvania, we have the farmers there saying that they have everything hooked up, they're ready to go, but they cannot afford the diesel for their tractors, for their equipment, to be able to put the corn and the crops in the ground. So it's a grim situation. And it looks like this is going to push food prices higher. I mean, the government just came out and reported that food prices in May were 10% higher than this time last year. So they have two big hurdles ahead of them. Number one, they've got to be able to put all the crops in the ground. And number two, they got to be able to afford to take it out. And in Pennsylvania right now, the average for diesel is $6.19 per gallon, up 75% from a year ago. That's 75% from a year ago. That's a huge, huge expense, these farmers are saying. And one farmer that works around 3,500 acres says he goes through around 2,000 gallons of diesel per month. If the farmers cannot get the crops out of the ground, there's going to be no food on the shelves. Those are the warning words coming from them, and these are all repercussions of higher gas prices that we're seeing right now. As I covered on the live stream, we just saw a record between where mid-grade and high-grade sit. It was like 62 cents. So join me for those live streams. I've got links below.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and read Betty's message that she put out yesterday. I hope you guys can get it or heard about it. A lot of people calling me all the time, emailing me about Betty. So Betty did put a message out yesterday, so here it is. And then I will get into Psalms 121 and end with prayer. And also don't want to forget the peace and safety cry coming from Maranatha. So let me go ahead and do that now. Hello and shalom. She said, one and one. Hello and shalom. It has been a while since I have sent anything out, but this is a warning of high importance, especially now that we are going to enter some rather dangerous times soon. Please read and reference Exodus 20:3-5. I also encourage you to read the before and after scriptures, King James Version. This warning was given to me extremely early this morning, today, June 15th, 2022. The day is the 16th, so it was yesterday, like I just said. The Lord came to me in a powerful way and in a firm but audible, clear voice and said this to me, a proclamation. Okay, let me go ahead and push over this a little where I can scroll down. Okay. A proclamation, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. He spoke this twice to me, and then there was a brief silence, and then his voice began again. The time of testing has begun. As Satan rolls out his plans, so do I roll out my plans. For I am greater. The time for the Antichrist is but a breath away. I am speeding things up. The battle has been fierce in heaven. Now it rages on the earth. It is now time to choose which door will you choose, heaven or hell, okay? At that point, I saw a swift vision of the flames of hell, and it was like they came alive, pulling people into darkness. Again, the voice came, no sin will enter heaven, for I am holy, saith the Lord. I am impressed to give everyone this warning now before it is too late. Again, please reference 1 Kings 18:21, King James Version. And Elijah came near to all the people. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord be God, follow him. If Baal, then follow him. And the people answered him not a word. Thus saith the Lord. From Bette, okay, and she says shalom. So I just had to get this out to you. One reason why I think the devil just tried to get me in a mood where I didn't do the video at all, you know, but I'm came back and do it again. So I wanted you guys to hear the messages and the material here. I really hope you're listening. This thing about the last great crisis with Charles Wheelan, you need to go listen to the whole video. Don't get caught up on the Seventh-day Adventists and all that stuff. You know, it's Advent mean God's people looking for his return. That's what Advent really means. So I'm not really about the denomination so much as I'm about the truth. The truth will set you free. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go on over here and close out with a mission from the missionaries around the world, from End Time Dream and Visions, Feed My Sheep. And then I'm going to go ahead and get to the Bible, 121 real quick. And Father in heaven, he knows, boy, people need to know time's about to really close on us here if we don't really give our life to Messiah Yeshua, because it's so important that we give our life to Messiah Yeshua today. Is nobody else going to save you. I was reading this other chapter. I can't remember the chapter now. Don't know whether it's Isaiah or Jeremiah or what, but I know he talked about Daniel and Job and I think all those prophets. They cannot save their own children, and we cannot save our own children. We can only pray that they will heed to the messengers in these end times, because in my family, a lot going on in my family. I don't know if a lot going on in your family, but I know the devil is trying to just wrestle against every person he can to get them to go on his side. And so the Bette is saying in her message, the Father said we got to choose what? Heaven or hell. So we need to know what side we're going to be on, who we're going to choose, who we're going to walk with, who we're going to talk with. And so I'm just hoping that we all praying for one another at this hour, because a lot of things are happening in families right now. So I'm going to go ahead now and I do thank you for the prayers yesterday for my family member. She's out of the hospital. Still outside looking for a place, but we hope the Lord can lead her and guide her, because a lot of times our children, our own children, are just very stubborn and want to do things their own way. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video now, and then we'll get into the Bible. So let me go ahead and mute it out again. Okay, guys, praise the Lord, hallelujah. I love missionaries so much, the wonderful work they're doing. I'm going to go ahead now and jump on over here to, actually, you know, I want to play this, and I'm going to play it now because I didn't want to forget about it, like I forgot about it. I want to play this because it's going on right now in Yellowstone, people. It's going on right now. And then I will go ahead and close out with Maranatha and do prayer. But this got to be played. I just happened to forget it. I skipped over it some kind of way. I didn't mean to forget that. Make sure I'm not skipping over anything else. But let me go ahead and play this right now, okay? And then I get back.
The situation inside of Yellowstone has gotten out of control in terms of the flooding waters, and it has ran almost everybody out of the park. They're now saying that although no one has been killed, this has caused a lot of devastation in terms of wiping out the roads and the ways in and out of the park. They may not even open the northern entrances for the rest of the summer because of this. Now, they're also calling for more rain. And of course, they want to go and point the finger at this climate stuff. It's how they want to label it. You can see here in this image just how bad the canyon walls were ate out and this road completely taken out. And there's nothing left of the road right here in this shot. And this is what many of the roadways look like in the region. Now, the Gardner River swelled. This is a popular fishing river that I've actually been to. I've stood right down in this exact area, and it's crazy to see that it was like this, but flooding happens, and people should be aware of it. Now, to this magnitude, I'm not so sure you see it like this all the time, but here in this helicopter feed, you can see just how bad the waterway washed out the road in many different spots. So, Yellowstone taking a big-time hit. 10,000 people had to evacuate out of here. There's still a handful of campers trying to make their way out of the backcountry, and this devastated some of the local homes in the community. So we've got a shot here of this one that shows the flooding around the region. So a look at the flooding chaos inside of Yellowstone as it wipes out bridges, homes, and is causing a nightmare. But that is the latest. I'll leave links below. Hit that subscribe button for more.
September 9, the peace and safety cry. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. Jeremiah 6:14. Papists, Protestants, and worldlings will see in this union a grand movement for the conversion of the world and the ushering in of the long-expected millennium. The day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. 2 Peter 3:10. When the reasoning of philosophy has banished the fear of God's judgments, when religious teachers are pointing forward to long ages of peace and prosperity, and the world are absorbed in their rounds of business and pleasure, planning and building, feasting and merrymaking, rejecting God's warnings and mocking his messengers, then it is that sudden destruction cometh upon them, and they shall not escape. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. Like the dwellers in the vale of Siddim, the people are dreaming of prosperity and peace. Escape for thy life is the warning from the angels of God, but other voices are heard saying, Be not excited, there is no cause for alarm. The multitudes cry peace and safety, while heaven declares that swift destruction is about to come upon the transgressor. On the night prior to their destruction, the cities of the plain rioted in pleasure and derided the fears and warnings of the messenger of God. But those scoffers perished in the flames. That very night the door of mercy was forever closed to the wicked, careless inhabitants of Sodom. God will not always be mocked. He will not long be trifled with. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. Isaiah 13:9. The great mass of the world will reject God's mercy and will be overwhelmed in swift and irretrievable ruin. But those who heed the warning shall dwell in the secret place of the Most High and abide under the shadow of the Almighty. His truth shall be their shield and buckler.
Yes, it's coming, people. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I can feel it more each day, getting more wicked, more crazy, more wacko in the world. It's just getting more worse and worse. So we need to know whose side we're going to be on, and pray for each other and help each other, because so many things are happening. Just too much is going on. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. We really want to thank you for all your offerings to help the homeless, the orphans, the widows, those that need mission fields. May YAH richly bless each and one of you. Donation options, Tiley app, Cash app, our business card here at https://JuniorMarner.thebumpcard.me. Also, other donation options, fmcmi.org at our website, marner.campbell@gmail.com, at PayPal. You can mail in your donations to My Cup Ministries, Post Office Box 414, Canon City, Colorado 81215. Shipping address is My Cup Ministries, 1501 Main Street, number 414, Canon City, Colorado 81212. I'm going to go ahead and close, people. I'm so sorry. I know time is really running out around the world. Time is running out in the spiritual realm. So I just want you guys to understand that we are in the end. People have forgotten God's commandments. They want to do things their way. They want to be stubborn and mean and hateful, and a lot of people want to run the world their way. There's these globalists, and I hate to say the word, but it's true. They are trying to have their one world system, okay? So America's moral foundation, like I say, they have left the commandments of God. So attention is to give your life to Messiah Yeshua. Because as he say, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. So we need to be putting our trust in him and not man. As you know, Daniel have already told us about Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and all these things are happening right now before us. So I ask that you go and please be with all the things in the description box. I ask that you please go and look at some of the material, especially Charles Whelan. I'm going to try to post his other video called Iran is Next, or something dealing with Iran. He was talking about it many years. America would attack Iran. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pray. I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and pray. I really, Father, be with the people watching today. We thank you so much for your word. We thank you so much for your promises. We thank you so much for salvation. We thank you so much for being God all by yourself. And Father, we just ask that you come be with the people watching, supplying all their needs, whether it's physical, mentally, spiritually. And I'm just going to go ahead and close out now, because I want to close out with this psalm, because it's just one of the psalms that we need to be having before us right now. And so it says, my help comes from the Lord. Psalms 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. And I like to sing it, but I'm not going to sing it. I always sing it. I sing maybe one little scripture, but I sing like this. I used to be in a Jesus freak group years ago in my 20s. I was like 19, 20, and we used to sing this song by guitar. And so I say, and I'll just sing maybe one or two verses because our time is going, but we used to sing this song. It's so beautiful. I will lift up my eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. From this time forth and even forevermore. So that's just a song we used to sing, and it's a wonderful song to memorize and know, because the way troubles are coming on the land, we need to know that the help comes only from the Father Almighty God. We need to put our trust in Him today, people. So I thank you for watching. I'm going to go now, and I thank you guys for watching. I hope that we can all keep continually in prayer, because the days are evil, Yeshua said to pray without ceasing, because the days are evil. So I will see you guys on another video. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you on another video. So I'm going to say shalom, shalom. I love you guys so much. Shalom, shalom.